Okay, so here's something weird. I was watching some YouTube video. This photographer had taken pictures, and he talked about like the most haunted pictures he'd taken. He took a picture of like a family of, I think they were politicians one time, and like the picture just came back, and they all looked like ghoulish skull, almost like lizard people. And he's like, I don't really know why this was, but like the guy who was ushering them to the picture, whatever, was like, I've got a really bad feeling about this group of people the whole time. And like, yeah, he showed the picture. So bizarre. So
I think there's other things living amongst us.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know what they are. You don't think so, Alex? You don't think there's demons?
Well, sure.
I think there's demons. I mean, if you think about all the things we've talked about, like the guy who took over just a few weeks ago, we talked to a lady whose brother was like, I don't know what
mental
happened.
Health. I mean,
possessed. You could say mental health.
Yeah.
I think possessed by something, and maybe there's a thin line between those two things. But some people just turn into straight up monsters.
Yeah.
And is it just a wiring problem in our brains? Or
I don't think I think there's proof that it's not, because of exorcisms and like people that have been speaking in different languages that they couldn't have known.
Right.
And they have records of this, which is also why I like went back to the Catholic Church. I'm like, okay, interesting.
Because of exorcisms.
Because they're the only ones that do that.
People keep saying I should have an exorcist come perform an exorcism on this room.
They'd have to get like an agreement they have to get permission from the Pope.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All of them?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
From what I understand. I could be wrong.
Who do I know at the Pope?
Yeah.
Is Seamus Coughlin or
You'd
the
have
Pope?
to get Seamus involved.
Yeah.
You'd have to make the connect.
Someone call Seamus.
I know, but you don't really want to bring anyone in like that. Because I think we could bring in a psychic, a hypnotist.
No, I want to talk to him. I'll talk to him. I just don't trust it.
Yeah.
That witchcraft.
You
I
don't
think
want to invite
it opens up some issues. But maybe we have a exorcism come through the house. There was that lady, I think on our first episode, who talked about her Taco Bell was haunted.
Right.
And she
Taco
brought
Bell?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, she had a real issue with a demon at a Taco Bell.
Really?
Yeah, it was brutal.
Why?
I don't know.
Too much hot sauce.
What did it do?
It kept I think there was a little fire.
Yeah, there was a fire.
And things were falling.
Things were falling off the
shelves. She just kept experiencing issues, and
they brought in a priest.
They brought in a priest and performed whatever you call it. It was something I can't remember the word.
Oh, were they like sage the corners of the room and like?
It was whatever it did was some official thing on a location, and I think that's something. And it goes back to what we were saying about West Virginia and all the dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah,
that has an effect, I think, on a location. Whether I don't know what's going on.
Well, if you really think about it, they used to say like the whole Indian burial ground thing, but like everything's an Indian burial ground.
Yeah,
everything's a burial ground.
Buried under every stone.
There's dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah,
like that's a Korn reference for those.
Is that a song title?
Dead bodies everywhere. All right, but that is how it is.
Yeah,
like growing up on revolutionary battlefields in New York or Civil War here and revolutionary battlefields here, there's something wrong with the land. And that's what people, when I'm in Long Island or when I'm in Georgia, where they had the March to the Sea, everyone's like, something's wrong with the land.
Speaking of Long Island,
my favorite topic.
What is y'all's take on the Amityville horror?
Yeah. Well, they say that's not really true or something, right?
I don't know. I think it's something. Something's wrong in that.
The murders happened. Yeah. Like that. What is his name? Danny something.
I forget his name.
Killed the people in the house, and then like it was bought by those other people. I forgot their names, and they say that they had created a hoax for press.
Right.
But like the underlying story is true.
I think the hoax could be a way to make it seem like it's not happening.
Could be a way to discredit it.
Because all the stories I've written about Long Island, especially the Long Island serial killer, that guy, the suspect who's been in jail for over a year now, he lived right down the road.
The Gilgo Beach guy?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. His like storage spot and everything was right by it, like 7 minutes away. There's something wrong with that place.
Interesting. Yeah, because the guy that did the original family murders, there was not really a reason for him to do that. Yeah. And he like went to the bar afterwards, and so weird.
I do think a place can have an effect on you, whether it's a ghost in that place or a demon, something in there, in the land has been baked in, something evil.
For sure.
The Long Island thing, You go look. There's like a circumference of serial killers that emanate outside of Amityville. Rifkin's one of them. Spacing on this other guy's name. If you go look it up, there's a bunch of guys who are in prison now, and then this new guy who may or may not have been operating undetected for about 30 years.
That's crazy.
And I remember one girl I spoke to who was an amateur investigator in that Gilgo stuff. She was like, this place is just screwed. Like, all these places are just like, she was saying Indian burial grounds, but when I
there's just like so much evil that's happened in that place over the last couple hundred years.
It might be because it's just a small sliver of land.
I always think about like Massapequa. Massapequa is like know, a town in Long Island.
It's like a nice area,
on an
right?
Indian burial ground. It's a very nice area. It's where Alec Baldwin is from.
We all know that guy.
Totally acquitted.
That's all you need to know.
I don't care. He's a murderer.
I don't know.
In my opinion.
I mean, technically.
When I was out there writing the Long Island stuff, it would just be random body parts. Like in the news, it'd be like, oh, today we found a head, or not a head, it was a hand in a suitcase, and today we found a body at this road, and there's a body over there. Or the first time I was writing it, a lady killed her landlord and scattered the body parts in people's yards.
Dude, there's been a lot of weird cases like that recently.
What's going on?
I don't know.
We were just talking about the Rainy Street.
Oh, yeah.
The Rainy Street thing in Austin.
So they've been writing about that, saying that there is a possible serial killer operating.
Right.
That's you say Austin, right?
Austin, yeah. There's been like 11.
I was thinking
11
13 bodies now,
13.
right? But
I mean, you're right. It was like 11 men and 2 women.
Right, something like that. And then there was one guy who claimed to have survived. I don't think we have enough information. All we know is that like it seems to be a certain age group.
And they're all found in the water?
They're all found in the water.
What is it, Ladybird?
Ladybird Lake.
Yeah.
Ladybird Lake. And where is that in terms of like 6th Street? Do you know?
It's right there. It's like you have to cross the bridge to get to 6th. It's like.
Is that where the bats are?
Yes.
No. Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, whoa,
dude, were you following Riley Strain's case when this happened? This guy went missing in Nashville. He left a bar, and then they had footage of him walking. He was this college kid. And he got kicked out of this bar for being too drunk, even though he didn't have enough drinks to be that drunk. They had him walking. He was missing for like 2 weeks. He was walking on this like CCTV footage. He like interacted with a cop and was like, and he went under this bridge and there was like a homeless encampment, and then he was just gone. And they eventually found him. And he had washed up in the water. Oof. It was a very weird thing. No one really knows what happens. They claim to have ruled out foul play, but it doesn't seem like.
Sometimes I wonder if they rule out foul play to cover up their own incompetence or ignorance.
It wouldn't behoove them to say it's our fault.
Right. There's been a bunch of feet washing ashore.
Only feet?
Yeah, I forget where that was. I want to say Northwest. But I could be wrong. But people just feet keep washing ashore.
So with the Ladybird thing, I've heard some commentary on it, or some news analyst would say like there seems to be the same thing going on in Chicago, but when it happens in Chicago, there's a downtick in Austin, and then when it goes back to Austin, there's an uptick. Or the downtick in Chicago, so
that's what I think could be happening with Gilgo as well. That's the theory, is that there are a lot of unsolved cases up and down the eastern seaboard.
And it's all connected?
Yeah, maybe. You know, there's people who said no, it can't, because there were, I believe, 4 prostitutes in Atlantic City that were found, and no one knew. And before they even had a suspect, they thought there was a possibility that they were connected to Gilgo. I mean, that type of victim is not rare in serial killers, but they were all advertised on the same websites and looked the same-ish. I think they were about the same age. As far as I remember, that's a long time ago. They've ruled it out still, but they keep saying this guy's killed more people. You know, they keep bringing him before a judge, being like, all right.
He's been operating for 30 years.
If it's him, yeah. I think it is him, but I don't know yet. He seems like the guy. Have you seen it? Have you seen him?
I've seen what he looks like. I don't really know the extent of what he's been actually like solidly charged, and like we know he did it.
I think he's been charged with 5 or 6 now.
Okay.
between 4 and 6.
Has he admitted to anything?
No, he hasn't even
saying
talked.
he's okay.
I've tried talking to him multiple times.
So he's given no statements. He's got a lawyer.
Other than the statements through his lawyer saying he's innocent.
Innocent.
Yeah. But he was not famous, successful architect. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's why, a lot of people who I was talking to, and me included, thought he would be someone who was successful, who had a good standing in public, family. Because I was thinking, if you're operating that long, you're not just some reclusive weirdo.
Right.
You're ingratiated into society.
Yeah, but wouldn't you bury bodies in the walls or cement? Like, why just throw them to the ocean? Like
that could be part of his fetish. Who knows? Because we now know the ones they've charged him with. Some were found on that
the strip.
Yeah, but they were like not in the water. They were like lined up, placed like trophies. On the beach, like there Ocean in the Parkway? Bramble. What
was it? Ocean Parkway.
It was Ocean Parkway, yeah, but it wasn't the side where people surf. It was the other side where I think it's a bay is, and facing Amityville. Amityville's on the other side of that bay.
Really?
Some theories are that he would take the boat from the side where Amityville's on and bring the bodies over. I had thought he drove on Ocean Parkway to pull over, and because it's a long stretch of
you could drive
road,
down that thing forever,
and you could see a headlights for a long ways away and get away with it. Anything could have happened, but he was also a big duck hunter and a big guy, just he's huge, but a big gun guy. And there are photos of him at a gun range near the woods where another body was found that he has been charged with recently. So like they're not all at the shore. Some have been found in the woods, and some of them are just horrifying. I mean, one of them was just a torso that was found, mutilated. This is what got me into the whole story in the first place, because they found a torso years and years ago, mutilated, and then when the case broke on Gilgo, like no one knew what the torso was about.
Yeah.
When Gilgo broke, they found the hands like 10 or 20 years later that connected to the torso.
Dude.
I'm like, what? So did he keep them the whole time, or he scatter them? We don't know a lot. There's so much about it we don't know. Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
It always comes back to Gilgo.
I can't. It will haunt me forever. So many weird personal connections to it. But well, we should wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts that you've got here? Anything we should be worried about in the world as we get closer to, anything?
Man,
the end of it.
The end of it all.
Words of wisdom.
I, for one, just, man, I feel like anything I say right now will be corny and unthought out.
No, it's perfect. That's all I do.
Like pray.
I mean, I couldn't set it better myself.
Yeah.
I should do it more.
Yeah.
Pray.
Is good.
Be a good person. I don't know.
As dark as it is, I'll say this, I still think that I have hope for everyone.
There has to be light at the end of the tunnel.
I have zero hope.
No,
zero.
Alex,
I become more.
That's good.
More and more black pills every single
reject
day.
it. You're a mom.
Contrast here,
and I'm a dad, and it's very nice to want to just take that black pill and give it all up.
Well,
but
and
you can't.
I saw recently that they're saying like it's just since COVID, time's gotten so much faster, and then people have gotten so much meaner, angrier, depressed, all that stuff.
I know. I know. Everyone's
hopefully we don't let it happen again.
Like I was late today because of that lady I was telling you about yelling at the baristas. Barista or barista?
Barista.
I hate that word.
Barista.
But people are on edge, and they've been on edge. But I reject the darkness. But it's there, and it's tough.
But because the darkness is there, we also know there's light.
That's right. So it's that simple. It's literally that simple. There's good and evil. There's dark and light. Carter, where can people find you, the music, all that good stuff?
Yeah, you can find me. I'm trying to consolidate everything to @CarterBanks. So you can find me on YouTube @CarterBanks. You can find me on Twitter @CarterBanks. The Instagram, the guy who got my handle 10 years ago has just never used it and won't respond to me. So I'm Carter Banks 4L, like for life. And you can find Timcast Music at Timcast Music or Timcast Songs on YouTube, and then TrashHouseRecords.com should bring you to the Trash House channel.
Sick. Alex, where can they find you?
I am Alex Ayala on X.
Sweet. I'm Shane Cashman everywhere. You guys want to send me stories, I can read them on the show, or we can have you call in. That's at Shane Cashman at scanner.com, SCNR.com. Hit me up. I'll get back to you guys, and whatever you're most comfortable with, we can have you call in, or we can I can read them for you. And other than that, I appreciate you all tuning in. We'll see you next time.